we had the idea to make this film before Glee even appeared. Like, so Mark and I have been consistently behind the ball by about 5 years. So we had the idea ages ago, and we started making it, and everybody thought it was a bit of a daft idea. And literally, Glee happened in the last. This has taken 5 years to put together. In the last half of those 5 years, Glee appeared, and we're going, "Oh my God, that's completely it."
Yeah, we were going to call it Glum, the Welsh Glee. No, but it's funny because for John and I, it was a little bit of a déjà vu because not a dissimilar thing happened with My Little Eye all those years ago. Very different film, but. With Big Brother, do you remember? The events sometimes catch up with your film, so I just hope that Glee and Hunky Dory can coexist, basically.
And you mentioned at the beginning, you know, what a fantastic group of young people you have in the film. How did you find them, and how hard was that, or how easy?
John brought to the table with Jessica and Anne, our casting person, the experience of Billy Elliot, actually. So we just looked long and hard. And again, you know, sometimes time catches up with you, because when we found Aneurin Bernard, who plays Davy, who's unfortunately not here tonight, he was third year at the Royal College of Music and Drama in Wales. And then by the time we got to make the film, he'd won an Olivier Award for being in Spring Awakening. So obviously it confirmed that we had really good taste. But, you know, we did make this rule for ourselves about people playing and singing and being, you know, the authors of their own voices in a way in this film. So we had to find really good actors and really good singers and players, and we did, you know. But it was a long process.
Yeah. I think, Min, you were the most experienced person in the crew, or the cast, weren't you? Well, you and Bob Pugh.
In what capacity? Yeah. But it was good. I probably learnt more from, where are those rascals? Oh, there you are. I learnt more from them about having a good time when you're making a film.
Well, in terms of the dynamic between you and them, was there ever a sense of, you know, you being the star and treated as such, or was that not really how it worked?
You should have seen the camera.
No, there really wasn't, and it was brilliant. I used to like watching them all playing music outside there. I can't call them trailers because they were caravans. We had a laugh. I mean, it was. They were all brilliant.
Dan, can I just ask you what it was that appealed to you about the film, how you came on board?
I was working here on a movie, producing a movie several years ago, and was trying to put together a film fund, and actually met this movie as something that I had wanted to fund. And as happens more often than not, that all fell apart, but John and Mark and I had started talking to each other and got friendly, and I said, you know, if you would like me to keep working with you, I think I could help put it together. And I was really struck by this. It was a beautiful script. I mean, literary, and I thought it would be exciting to do a movie set in Wales. As an American, I've
As an American.
well, we know that there's this place called Wales, you know, and it's in this place called the UK, and it's got these things. As England is there, and Scotland, and we can't quite figure out how it all works together and stuff. But Wales. What we do know is that Wales has this tradition of music, and I thought it would be. I'd like to participate in something that would export a Welsh movie to the rest of the world. And the fact is that, like, high school is high school. My high school experience, you know, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is not that different from the high school experience that we saw in this movie.
You talked about Jodie Talbot's music in the introduction, but in terms of the songs that you used in the film, I mean, you know, clearly 1976 was an amazing year for music and for popular music. How difficult was it to kind of whittle down and decide which songs you were going to use, or were they, you know, part of the original script?
Well, like Evan says at the front of the film, be careful what you wish for, because we're all mad on music, and that's why the thing I think united everybody in the film. And then we sat down with Joby and started to think about which songs we might choose and use, and obviously crowbar them into the Tempest because we loved them so much. And it was it was surprisingly difficult, actually, because I think what we really strove for was a sense of a song that you sort of knew but didn't know too well. So, you know, you go, why didn't you use, people go, why didn't you use Queen, why didn't you use, you know, you're just looking for these songs that somehow had a feeling about them that could be reinterpreted and sort of recognised at the same time without seeming too on the nose, I suppose. I think it's fair to say that David Bowie was kind of all the, you know, really interesting girls in my art class like David Bowie. And David Bowie, I think, just more than anybody encapsulated that sort of... there's something really interesting that happened between the 60s and punk, which was... And he was the man, I think. But, you know, then you've got ELO, who are kind of not necessarily recognised for that kind of odd, cutting-edge music, but nevertheless, you know, made some amazing tunes.
Sorry. I only say because I wanted to use Lindisfarne's Run for Home at the end, and Mark consistently slagged Lindisfarne off from the beginning of this experience to the end, and I think you'll probably agree it would have been a much better end song.
Los Angeles and Cardiff should be twin towns. It's lovely working in Wales, and it's honestly, I think I was walking down the street with my boyfriend the other day, and there was a film shooting, and I get the same feeling when I see the cables and the trucks and the vans and the people wandering around with headsets on. I get the same feeling whether I'm in Czechoslovakia, London, Cardiff, Los Angeles. There's something very levelling about a film set, and actually everyone's there to really do the same thing, so there really isn't a great deal of difference. Money always plays a part in sort of how big your trailer is and whether you get nice food. But, you know, we had nice food. Wasn't a great deal of it. But honestly, there's really not that much difference.
Port Talbot and Swansea mainly, but a lot of the domestic exterior interiors were sort of in Cardiff, because we felt that the best way of cracking the 70s was looking for architectural house types which were from the 70s, as opposed to trying to build sets, which you couldn't afford anyway. So Port Talbot is an amazing place, I think, because it's... my memory of school was like most people being at work, and Port Talbot's got this steelworks in the middle, so it feels like a working town, and it still does. So Port Talbot was, and Swansea were the kind of, the school was Bishop's Gore School in Swansea, which for the film geeks amongst you was the same school in which they shot Submarine, and was a school that Dylan Thomas and Russell T Davies attended, so that was the school. Well, did we was the question, yeah. I said to John, you know, the thing about Wales is, you know, fantastic Indian summers. September's a really good time to shoot. The truth is, in Wales, there's never any good time to shoot, really. So a lot of it is down to the fantastic photography, and some of it is fantastic scheduling, and some of it is just trying to get away with it. I mean, I think it's got a look, but it was the biggest challenge after the music, I'd say.
It was sort of like working with a farmer, because Mark would come out of the door every morning and go, look, it's going to be fine today, it's got blue sky. It was never fine, it rained the entire time.
There was a joke that if there was sun in any of the shots, it would be in the film. So you knew you were safe and you wouldn't be cut if there was...